What's going on, YouTube? JT's Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my Godzilla comic book reviews. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about Godzilla Rivals versus Hedorah. This is a comic by IDW, and this is the first in the Godzilla Rivals series, where it's going to be kind of one-shot comics with Godzilla facing off against several different opponents. This issue actually came out June 30th, and I'm only now getting to it like 2 months later, and I'm kind of kicking myself for it because it just kind of sat in my Comixology list for the longest time. I'm just like, okay, I'll get to reading it soon. And then I got all these other DC comic book stuff I'm trying to catch up on. And finally, I'm like, okay, today I'm going to kind of cover this thing before the new comic book week comes out because I feel like I'm starting to catch up on everything again now. And wow, I'm really kicking myself because I thought this was absolutely fantastic. Like, in all honesty, this is one of my favorite one-shot Godzilla comics I think I've ever read. To the point where I would have liked to have actually seen some more of it, this story unfold, because of the way it starts us out in the middle of the monster action, and it's just basically two characters that are trying to fight for survival and kind of one character has to get another one to a hospital so he can save her, so then she can then go and save the city by activating something. There's some questionable moral choices that the characters have to make, you really get the sense of scale with the kaiju battles. Like the artwork is fantastic, and you really put yourself inside the middle of a kaiju battle. Like, it kind of reminds me in essence of what Gareth Edwards did with the 2014 Godzilla film, where you really got the human perspective in terms of the kaiju battle. But the battles themselves are quite good because Hedorah is one of Godzilla's most deadly and powerful opponents, and you really get to see that showcase here. The art style kind of makes me think of a Japanese manga book with the way it's kind of handled a bit. Obviously, you add some color in that because typically a lot of mangas are black and white. I think all of them pretty much are. But this one obviously is in color. Action's good. The story is handled quite well. Like, it's really just kind of throwing you into the middle of the action. Yeah, we don't know everything there is to know about the characters, but this is just kind of one of those things where we're just kind of put in the middle of this really grand, epic, quick, fastly paced story, and I really, really enjoyed it. So let's quickly summarize what happens. I guess spoilers from this point onward, but I highly recommend you check out this book because I think it really is good. I actually like this one issue more than the entirety of Godzilla Monsters and Protectors. That's not necessarily a dig on that series, so that's definitely geared more towards kids, but this is a story that's definitely geared more towards adults and me because, like I said, there's some bits of this that remind me a little bit of Stephen King's The Mist, the Frank Darabont film, with the decisions that some characters kind of have to make. And it really gets dark in some places, and I quite like that when my Godzilla movies can get dark. So this is set in New York in the 1970s, 1971. It's the middle of a Godzilla and Hedorah attack, and look at this here. Like, the artwork is great, and it really builds a sense of scale. So Godzilla's fighting Hedorah, and they need to find some way to kind of repel this thing. Hedorah's got, obviously, you get this action that's kind of thrown in the middle. Two characters just trying to make their way out towards like the hospital in the middle of the city because of all the stuff that's happening, the huge kaiju battle that's taking place. We definitely see Hedorah's toxic sludge really hurting Godzilla. Like, Godzilla's not having it easy this time around. You see how the acidic qualities of Hedorah melts their car, burns this guy's shoe. He is desperately trying to get this woman to safety because she has apparently the key to saving the whole entire city. So you get the atomic breath. Really gorgeous looking artwork here. He's just trying to get to the hospital and they're trying to get themselves to the shelter. And he tells this police officer, hey, look, I need to they can save us. They can stop Hedorah and Godzilla. Like, okay, I'll take you there. But of course, it's in the middle of the battle. This man dies tragically. The guy doesn't even kind of look back to kind of save him because it's already too late. And again, there's some real emotions you feel in this guy because this guy just came to try and do the right thing and help this man and woman, but it didn't quite work. So eventually he's able to get into the hospital, and we come to find out that there's some twists involved here. Turns out the guy was lying about who his sister was because he was trying to save her. Turns out that she is not the doctor they were talking about, but she did work in the Kaiju research lab, so she knows how to stop when she steals this man's gun because they patched her up, and they got to get back to the site of this little radio tower of sorts because this will be able to repel the Kaiju. So as they're fighting, it gets to the point where the battle is getting too intense, and she's really kind of unable to get in there to stop the thing. She's just like, we got to reconnect that cable and start this thing using out a signal designed to really kind of like get the Kaiju away. And basically, she doesn't really have the strength to do it. And the guy's like, okay, if we do this, then one of us is going to die. And he's like, we can't do that. And he's like, This girl's like, I have to kind of sacrifice my own life, and I won't let millions of more people die. But she kind of tricks him, her own brother, and sacrifices him. And I'm like, holy shit, this is kind of dark and messed up. But she actually would do it herself, but she doesn't really have the strength to do it. She's too weak. Because again, she was, she had to have surgery right in her stomach. She was pretty much on the verge of dying. So basically, he travels through hell to save his sister, and she kind of like betrays him in a way. And I thought it was a really tough, morally questionable situation. She kind of had to force him to kind of do something that would ultimately cost this man his own life. Like, wow, that's really dark and messed up in a lot of ways. Like, I mean, what would you do in that situation? I thought that was kind of fascinating. So yeah, Godzilla's pretty much on the verge of being beaten. She even has kind of a tender moment with him, but he blasts the atomic breath. Todd, the guy who was there, hooks up the signal, and it sends the kaiju away. And basically, once Godzilla and Hedorah kind of leave the city, she's ready to pull out the gun that she stole and try and end her life. But to her surprise, Todd is still there, so he did manage to survive. And the two of them went through making some morally questionable decisions, which ultimately did save the city. But I forever don't know like how the relationship will be kind of handled going forward as siblings. Like, what's going to happen now? Yes, they saved the city, and Godzilla and Hedorah kind of go their separate ways rather than just fighting for whatever reason. But wow, what a story. What a really good, spectacular story. And I guess the next issue is going to be Godzilla versus Mothra. But I'm really, really impressed with how this Godzilla vs. Hedorah issue turned out. I'm like genuinely like, wow, that was a really fantastic read. And I'm like, if all these Godzilla rival issues are like this in terms of quality, then sign me the fuck up, because I want more of this stuff. Who is this written by? Paul Allor, artist by E.G. Sue, colorist Adam Guzowski, design letters Nathan Wittick, supervising editor Tom Waltz, editor Megan Brown. This is what I'm talking about when I say I want really good Godzilla comics. This is really, really good, and I can't emphasize that enough. This is one of my favorite Godzilla one-shot comics that I think I've read in years. I mean, this is so good. Like, I want like a movie centered around like this stuff. Or I would like an expansion of this issue. I'm kind of bummed it's only a one-shot. Yeah, we're gonna get Godzilla vs. Mothra next month, and who knows, that might even be even better. But I really like this Godzilla vs. Hedorah issue, and I would like to see more like this. So yeah, those are my brief thoughts on Godzilla Rivals versus Hedorah. Really, really good issue. Definitely worth picking up if you get the chance to. The strongest IDW issue since they made their comeback. Again, I liked Monsters and Protectors, but I actually like this one a little bit more. So there you go. Have you read this issue? What do you think of it? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I still got some more comic books that I'm going to be catching up on throughout the week. New comic book day is tomorrow, obviously, at the time I'm uploading this thing. So look forward to some reviews then. I don't even know what's really coming out at this point, but we'll just have to wait and see, because DC Comics definitely delayed a lot of stuff. So I'm going to catch up on that, and once I catch up with DC, I think I'm going to catch up with my remaining Conjuring horror comics that I've really fallen behind on. I think there's been 3 since it started. I think it's only a couple more issues left before it's all done. So once I do that, I'll be all caught up. I'll be grand, golden, and then I can kind of move on to look at other things. So I'll be excited when I finally catch up on all the comic book stuff. So anyways, let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, hit that bell for notifications. We're getting so close to the 2,000 subscriber mark, so look forward to that. I only got like 90 more subs to go, and then boom, 2,000 subscriber special. So look forward to that. Anyways, that's all I got to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.